Philip, so you've asked the question, how do you shoot essentially better as a one-man operator? I've done this for a while, for a number of years. I no longer do it as much as possible. I have a team present with me, but we'll dig into that separately. So if you are in a situation, for those of you watching, where you need to shoot by yourself, one of the key things I think is to be as prepared as possible. And that means your kit, it means knowing what you're going to shoot, it means having an understanding of what issues you may face when you go onto location. The more prepared you are, the easier it will be to cope with shooting. Because when you're shooting, as a solo operator, you are needing to worry about what it is you're shooting, what's in front of the camera, what's coming next. You're thinking about your batteries, you're thinking about when's your memory card gonna run out, and you're also doing the liaison between the client and sound. And there are more things that you're screaming straight down the lens now at me, but you have to think about it as a one-man solo operator. So if you are prepared and you understand, you go into a location like we did with this one. We've just finished a shoot. We came to this location and we realized there might be a problem with the light. So we had a nice diffusion placed overhead and we were aware of the sound issues that might come up. We were prepared for the furniture that we might want in the scene. It meant that when we arrived here, we weren't having to spend our time and effort and our resources in solving problems, because we've dealt with those problems already and now we can focus on shooting. So definitely be as prepared as possible. I'm checking my list. On the subject of lists, have a checklist. Yeah, so if you're shooting, can you have a shooting list that tells you what to shoot and you can tick them off one by one? Can you have a kit list that tells you what kit that you should be bringing with you, and then you can check it in and check it out? Also make sure that you balance expectations. This actually starts off with balancing your own expectations. Have you ever turned up to a shoot and you've got all of these preconceived ideas about bringing out your slider at the same time as shooting a time lapse whilst you're shooting with a Steadicam and then having a movie, and you're going to shoot all of this in the space of an hour? You are absolutely dreaming, right? It's not going to happen. So make sure you balance your expectations, which means that you have to balance the expectations of your client. Don't overpromise to your clients. Yeah? If you need a second person or you need a bit of assistance, then pitch it to the client. Or what I used to do is, even as a solo operator, I would make sure that my fee left a little bit of a budget for an assistant. Now, it didn't mean it was another shooter. It meant it was an assistant that might help me with parking a vehicle, getting the kit in the right place. If my battery's running out, I can go, battery's low, and I know a battery's going to come to me. So avoid working by yourself if you possibly can. If that means having an assistant, then maybe that's a good idea. But if you're going to have an assistant, make sure you choose a good one, because choosing someone just because there may be a free helping hand doesn't mean that the production is going to be smoother. There are some that will join you in a shoot and ask you so many questions during the course of the shoot that you will not be able to concentrate on the task at hand. Your time will be spent managing the person that's meant to be helping you, but is actually a hindrance. So just try and make sure that you get those balances right. And if possible, what I'd like you to do, Philip, is I would like you to see if you can set yourself the challenge of, next time you pitch to a client, try and see if you can get the budget for a second operator, but make sure you have in your mind the benefits. Is what you are shooting important enough that you don't want to miss a shot? Okay, sure, you could have another camera on a tripod in a different angle, you could press record and run round. But if your client has an understanding of everything that is involved, they may change their expectation of you and what you need to be able to cope with by yourself. When we shoot, we may mention to the client that we need to do location scouting, we need to manage shooting from different angles, we need to manage sound, and very, very quickly you see them start to think, what would it be like if I had to manage all of these things by myself or by themselves? And in a way they then have a level of empathy and realise that you need assistance, which may just cost you a little bit more money. So I hope this little rant here has helped in increasing your own production values. Also, just finally, make sure that if you have kit, make sure your kit is reliable. Make sure it's reliable. Don't bring too much kit with you. If you bring too much kit with you, I promise you, you'll be spending most of your time trying to work out if you use a slider, which lens to choose, whether you use a Movi, whether you use a Steadicam. Preparing your mind mentally first as to what you're going to shoot with and when. And in that way, your production value will increase if you have to shoot by yourself. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Also leave a comment below because I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you would like me to discuss a subject that means something to you personally, leave it in the comments.